Welcome to the fourth episode
I know.
of Talking About Piercing with DaVo and Scott from the Axiom Body Piercing Studio in the Body Piercing and Tattooing channel. This is a show where we kind of talk about some subjects about what we've got going on, other things. We kind of pick a topic, and then we'll answer any questions you may have if you want to ask them. Just send us a chat. So this week we're going to talk about trending YouTube topics. This is something that YouTube does. People search for certain things, and enough people search for it, then eventually it ends up in the in this thing, and we're supposed to be making videos out of it.
Yeah, it ends up as like a topic for like different channels to
Yeah. And it usually when I look at it, there's not really much that we haven't either done a video of or have even considered doing a video of.
Or there's just not enough content in it to actually make a video.
Yeah. It turns into this kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
kind of situation. Basically, the first one we're going to talk about is getting ear pierced at a tattoo parlor. I'm guessing they're looking for what the difference is or what that experience would be like.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to interpret that.
Okay.
I can't interpret that any other way.
See, I don't know. Tattoo parlor to me means
like they just tattoo there.
Well,
That's what that means to me.
Usually it's an old name. It's tattoo parlor was something that it's kind of an old school name, and now it kind of like everybody calls everything like
a fancy
studio.
Yeah, like
or boutique.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing this person really doesn't have whoever is asking this question, because it's one of the first ones that came up about getting pierced at a tattoo parlor, isn't really very familiar with it.
Yeah.
So maybe I think the biggest difference is, so we're glad to see you live here too. And your name's a character, and I will not try to interpret it. But thank you. Welcome and hello. The biggest difference is how clean it's going to be.
Yeah.
What would you say the biggest difference is between getting pierced at like
a parlor versus a boutique
the difference
studio?
between getting pierced at like a department store or a beauty salon or Claire's or whatever that new one is, piercing by nurses?
Rowan. There's so many things. I feel like I'm gonna go on a rant here, so be prepared. Okay, so first of all is the environment. Because who's to say, because in tattoo studios and parlors, whatever you want to call them, we have a specific environment as piercers and as tattoo artists that's where we tattoo. That is where we pierce. We do not put anything on that table. And even earlier this week, I forgot to completely mention it, I had someone trying to set their vape on our table.
on the stand.
Yeah, and I felt really bad because I went, don't put that there.
I had a lady once, like, basically she was searching through her purse and try and put I was washing my hands, and I turned around and all the content of her purse was on my tray.
I would have lost
It's
it.
like, I'm sorry, and then I had to start over again, but it's okay.
Yeah, no, but so we have a very specific area. That is where we put all of our materials when we are piercing. There's nothing else that is supposed to go there. Whereas I know places like Claire's you'll be getting your ears pierced, and they're like, drink from Starbucks will be on that table as well. And it's like, that's a big thing. Also, what we pierce with, we have so many instruments when we are piercing, a lot. Whereas at Claire's or piercings by nurses, it's gonna be this like, I don't know if they all use the disposable cartridges, but to my knowledge, they use
do.
The
That's pretty much
disposable ones,
the standard now.
which I think it's better, but it's not the best.
Yeah, well, putting that magic paper towel down is what makes the difference.
Oh, but
Okay, so their name is pronounced is Soa, and that's in Arabic. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize. You got to keep in mind it's like tiny.
he's blind.
And I am. Yeah, it's hard sometimes. But great to be here. Great to be here with you.
Yeah, so glad.
So
glad everyone's here.
The other thing I would bring up is the quality of the materials being used is completely different. Like when I say something's biocompatible, I know that it's certified biocompatible opposed to hypoallergenic, which just means lesser of that thing that may cause you problems.
Yeah, and I went on this rant recently. I don't know if you've seen the new Downy commercial.
No,
but
I don't.
They use.
I watch streaming services and I pay extra not to have to see commercials.
Yeah, well, they have a new commercial for like fragrance-free
Downy products.
Yeah, and it's like hypoallergenic, and I was like, that's not a real word. It's not. It's not a real word. You guys are making things up at this point.
It's a marketing term that came from the cosmetic industry in the 1920s.
Yeah, but no, and then we get into it. The material of the jewelry that is being put into people, you don't know what that is. It could be it is mystery metal. It's not. It could be. It is mystery metal. Claire's is not going to invest more money than 30 cents for a piece of jewelry to be put in your body. I'm sorry to say it to you. And then the type of jewelry that's being put in there is just they use like butterfly backs and stuff. Which
the closure.
Those. And it's not.
They're designed, the way they're designed on most of that stuff, it will start to tighten up over time if you leave it in too long. Mm-hmm. So it'll cause impacting. Yeah.
And it's supposed to be used for like, all one size fits all, but that shouldn't be the case when it comes, like you wouldn't put a 9 size ring on someone who's like a larger size and be like, one size fits all, like I feel like that's a bad example, but it's the same thing as that's not how that should work. You should have jewelry that fits properly in the area, and you can't do this one size fits all.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work. I think we covered that pretty well. Should we move on to the next one?
Yes.
Next one was just belly button piercings.
They're cool.
So I'm guessing because it's coming up in trending topics, it's one of those piercings that's back on the rise again. A lot of people getting them. We have been doing more of them.
We have.
On younger people, because for a while there, it seemed like I only did them on people that had them, then had kids, and now they want them again.
Yeah.
That, and I'm seeing more male customers getting it done.
Which I think is wonderful.
Those that identify as male or whatever we want to call it. So yeah, it's an expanding thing. It is not the easiest piercing in the heal. Mm-mm. It has a long healing time of about 6 months to a year. It is very dictated by anatomy, how easy that heal is going to be.
Yeah.
And how that piercing can be done.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I hope I pronounce Soha. That's what it is, isn't it? S-O-H or S-O-H-A. Soha. Yeah. Says I have 12 ear piercings and I wish to have a Dave, but I'm worried about the healing process. Daves can be kind of a combination of a couple things. They can be a little bit kind of a little complicated piercing to get done. I like to say it's uncomfortable more than painful because it's a lot of moving around in a tight area and getting the jewelry in there. As far as the healing process, they tend to not be a very traumatic piercing if they're done correctly, you have the correct anatomy for it, and you have a decent piece of jewelry in there. The one big problem that most people have is you can't wear earbuds or anything inside your ear depending on your anatomy, especially during the healing process. So you also can't sleep on it. You want to avoid trauma to the piercing and isolate it. But since it's kind of inside your ear, it isn't going to be as difficult to say a piercing in your upper ear like a helix or a flat piercing where there's a lot more contact with bedding, clothing, everything else.
Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to point out how more isolated the piercing is because it could more isolated than like a helix piercing would be. So it's more in there, so you're less likely to make contact with it unless you're sitting there trying to put earbuds in or unless you're messing with it, which a lot of people do because a lot of people tend to mess with fresh piercings, which isn't good. You shouldn't do it.
They play with them. They move their lip around and do this all the time.
Yeah. I got my vertical helix or helix.
Vertical helix.
My vertical helix.
Did your ear move to your mouth? Is that what happened?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm so tired. My vertical library done. I'm so happy about it. I love it.
We were gonna film it, but the angle wasn't right.
And I'll be honest with you guys, I complained a lot.
Yeah, she was very. At the end, I go, "Are we going to put her big girl pants back on now?"
You also missed some, not missed, but neglected.
I was in a hurry, and my mind was not on it. I'll admit it. It's my fault. I forgot to set up the jewelry, because usually what we do is if we can, we'll thread the jewelry on in advance and have it ready just to insert, so it's very quick. Well, I got the jewelry, I got the piercing done, got the needle through, got the forceps off, and then realized, oh, I forgot to get the jewelry ready. So she had to sit there
with my mouth open because you framed with the cork on
for a good 30 seconds or so. But I'm sure it seemed like an eternity. It was that part I watched back, that showed up in the footage a little bit, but I don't know.
No,
anyway.
You could see me like realizing I didn't have the cork on. Like, I do not have a poker face. I really don't. Watching that footage, I was like, oh God, you can read everything on my face, exactly what's going through my brain.
And the thing is, back to Dave piercings, is they're a very elegant piercing. I think they look incredible on ears. How much they interrupt earbuds and etc. really depends on your anatomy.
Yeah.
Some people, you have to put it right at the entrance of the ear canal. Other people, you can kind of do it up a little bit if it's more curved.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, you always have to bring up with that subject is it's not going to cure you. I always try to give a glimmer of hope with that, but the reality is that all that stuff's based on acupuncture and reflexology, and I'm not an acupuncturist. I don't know where your pressure point is, and it's from acupuncture in the act and reflexology too is stimulating that nerve so that it causes that effect. Having a piercing is not going to continue to do that. So just a little bit more. And they said again, I have to sleep with an aeroplane pillow. Yep, they're kind of a standard with a lot of people. At 12 piercings in your ears, I'm guessing that's pretty much your go-to all the time. Mm-hmm. I've had clients that have I knew this girl that she said the only way she could sleep is with her hands cuffed like this, or cupped like this, with her ear in the center of it. You adapt to piercings, and I think that's part when we try to give you as much information as we can. We're going through aftercare and consultation and everything else, but it's not something we really talk about a lot, that how much things are going to change your life in certain ways. And some piercings impact your lifestyle and your sleeping and eating and all that stuff more so on a long-term basis than other piercings. Anyway, so belly button piercings, I think we covered.
Yeah, they're cool. I like them.
The biggest in lifestyle changes, speaking of which, the biggest change is the wardrobe.
It is, yeah.
Can't wear those high-waisted pants that your mom wore in the 80s, even after the piercing hill sometimes. So we'll move on to number 3. How many piercings do you have? I'll let you go with this one.
You don't want to talk about your piercings?
No, you go first.
I go first? Let me think. 1, 2.
It's easier if you just name them.
Okay. I have 7 piercings. I have my vertical labret. I have a septum. I have a nostril. I have 2 ears. They're partially stretched. And then I have my industrial, which I count as 2, because it's basically 2 piercings.
It's 2 piercings.
Yeah.
So you
awesome.
double count it?
I double count it.
And then you have plans to get some stuff back, because I guess we should explain, if those that may not know, that she had a surgery and had to take some stuff out. And it was kind of an emergency situation, so she didn't have time to do anything else about it.
Yeah.
And you should check. And for those that want a little bit more background on that, check out her new series that I have been producing. I guess I'm a producer.
You could let me produce, but I don't think they'd be as good quality.
Probably
yours
not.
Are. I'd have like random flashes of stupid images pop up because.
Or do what most people do when they're first doing it, especially with 2-camera shoots. It just turns into this camera, this camera, this camera, this camera. It's like I look at old videos I did when I first got 2 cameras, and it gives you a headache. So what are some of your plans for getting other piercings?
I've been kind of going back and forth on this one. I definitely plan on.
I know, because I hear it every day.
Oh my God. Well, I have like plans in my head that I just don't talk about, but I plan on getting my other nostril done.
Yeah, I know that. We were gonna do it the other night.
We were,
but
and then
forgot.
I kind of wimped out.
You also didn't bring the jewelry.
I didn't. Well, I needed to buy a new front.
Yeah.
That's what the problem was.
Okay.
Because I went to go look for the. Yeah.
Long term. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I was thinking about doing a tongue piercing because I don't plan on getting any more oral piercings. I've already decided. I finally decided. The news is back, ladies. I do not plan on getting my cheeks re-pierced.
Dum.
As much as I loved them, they caused a lot of problems for me, and I tend to notice my life is a lot easier without them.
Yeah, you get to eat things and stuff.
Yeah, I would catch them when I was eating a lot, and I just don't want to go through that healing process again. And they were cute. Not for me anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Cute with all that scarring and bumps and
Oh
cute.
my God.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna shame you anymore.
Oh wait, no, I have 8 piercings.
No.
I forgot about my second lobe on my right ear.
Okay. So you're just gonna get the nostril then?
And maybe my tongue, and then I want to do some ear work.
We talked about doing your navel.
We did.
And we need to redo your upper helix, your flat.
We did. Well, then we were talking earlier about how I want to get a tattoo in the area and then pierce.
Yeah.
And have like a cool mixture of the two. Want to do my navel. I want to do simple jewelry with it though. I'm not a very like shiny kind of jewelry.
She's boring.
Whatever. And then I was thinking about doing some like genital piercings, but I really don't know what I want to do.
Well, the most common one would be the VCH.
Yeah.
I've never seen your anatomy because we've never had that moment. In any way, shape, or form.
No.
She's my employee.
Yeah.
So the only time I would see that is if I am doing a piercing on her.
Yeah. And we kind of talked about going to a different shop, and then we realized there is no one in Des Moines that does them.
Which I find extremely strange.
Because a place local to us used to do them.
There were quite a few of them, actually.
Yeah.
I think part of it is that a lot of the shops don't have a separate room for piercing.
That's true.
So it's a privacy issue. Now, granted, they'll still do female nipples, which, whatever.
Should also kind of be a privacy kind of thing.
And I'm one of those people that believes that nobody should walk around with the shirt off, including men.
That's true.
In public. So, and that's not because I'm a prude. It's just like, my theory on it is if men could do it, women should be able to do it too. Mm-hmm. And if you have a problem with women doing it and you're going to freak out about it, then men shouldn't be allowed to do it either.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. But
no, that's okay. Go ahead and interrupt.
But they just keep commenting, and I feel like we should address the
So you just had my trachis. Wait, am I missing one? No. Just have my trachis 5 days ago. Congratulations.
Congrats.
I hope that's going really easy. That's a fun piercing for most people I know that have had it to heal out.
Yeah.
It can get a little bumpy, especially I refer to them as the female sideburn thing, or you have long hair in that general area where it's really fuzzy and sticks to everything. That's the only real hassle most people have with that piercing.
Yeah, I like them. I think they're really cute. I think it's really fun to put dainty jewelry in there or large jewelry. We have this one
combinations are cool too.
They are. We have this one client. She comes in. She has very pretty jewelry in there, but she keeps losing them because they keep getting caught in her pillow. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
She's gonna and I don't know where they're going.
I don't either, but she finds them every time.
There's there's like a troll that borrows it for 2 or 3 days, an elf of some sort.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some mystical creature that comes and takes them
from her and then puts them on her pillow the next day.
Yes.
But
the threadless end fairy, I guess. I don't know.
But they look very nice in the area. I think they're really pretty. I wish she would get more earwork done. That's the only thing I will say is I want her to get more earwork done.
She will eventually.
I know she will. I know.
And then they said again, I took my navel out after a bad infection. Wish I could keep it. Navels can be very traumatic, and when they start being traumatic, they can be kind of hard to settle down again. The most common things that'll cause that is if the piercing is incorrectly pierced in the first place.
That's true.
If you didn't have the anatomy and the piercer misread your anatomy when they did it, that's going to cause a problem that is not going to be fixable. Also, lifestyle changes like pregnancy, et cetera, can cause a lot of scarring. A lot of people say infected, but in some cases it's either rejection or it's just over scarring. And you can fix it sometimes, but a lot of times you can't, other than taking it out, mourning it, and moving on with your life. Hopefully finding somebody that gets it right the next time.
Yeah.
Or, you know, the other thing is they could give you improper aftercare instructions. Or what I tell people, you know, I've had clients that they struggled so much with healing something out and feel so bad, like they feel like they've done something wrong. And it's like, you know what? There's just some people that just don't have the tolerance for that particular piercing. And your body's saying, nope, no, I'm not going to accept it.
Yeah. And another thing is I feel like I have had a lot of people come in here and they'll talk about past piercings and they'll be like, oh, I think it got infected. And it's like, you really know if something got an infection.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to go on that little rant really quick because you definitely know something got infected.
You know from personal
I
experience.
do. I have infected this cheek piercing, the one with the most scarring.
And that's part of the reason why there's so much scarring.
Yeah, I had gotten that infected twice, and I knew the second that the infection started, I was like, oh, yeah, that's infected. That's gross.
And that's why it's always important whenever you're in doubt or you think it's infected to go see your piercer. And if you don't get a clear answer from them or they're like, oh, that's normal, go see a medical professional.
Yeah. Even if you're still worried about it, it's best to go see your medical professional even after you see your piercer if you're still like, oh, I don't know. Because they know what an infection looks like. They don't really know. It's hard to tell the difference between an infection and just being allergic to the metal.
Yeah.
And so if you're
Because they
unsure about
react
it-
the same way.
Yeah. If you're unsure about it, you should definitely go see a medical
When in doubt,
professional.
you know, see somebody that's, and they have access to a lot more forms of treatment than
They
we
do. Yeah, we don't have antibiotics here.
As I used to always say, I'll be the first one to go, hey, that's beyond my control. You need to go see someone else.
Oh yeah. I remembered when I had my infection and I went to my piercer, they were like, "Oh, it's normal, just upsize." And I'm glad that I stuck with my gut on that one. And a lot of people don't have.
Yeah, the pus is coming out because it's too tight.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense. However,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, so me, I have 4 lobe piercings. All 4 of them are stretched.
Yeah.
Varying from, I don't even know what the gauge is anymore.
I don't either.
Or the diameter or any of that.
I never asked.
And then I have 2 upper ear helixes. I have my tongue pierced. 1 nipple. I lost the other one. Tragically in a laundry accident. I guess. I had stretched them out to 6 gauge. And I had them at 6 gauge for probably a decade. And I noticed that it was thinning on that side, and I kept ignoring it, going, it'll be fine. And then one day I was doing the laundry, and it caught on the basket and just fell out. I didn't even feel it. I just felt pressure. Yeah, and it damaged the nipple enough that it can't be pierced horizontally again.
Yeah.
Possibly vertically. I keep saying one day I'll do it, but I don't know.
You should do it.
That was the most painful piercing I've ever had.
Your nipple piercings?
Oh, yes, by far.
And then you stretched them.
Yes, I did. I was in my 20s.
Oh.
Yeah, anyway. And let me tell you, one thing you want to tell your friends not to do is give you a titty twister when you have just stretched to your nipple piercings.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Then I have a Prince Albert, and that's at 2 gauge.
Yeah, did you mention your eyebrow?
Oh, eyebrow. I always forget about him. He just kind of hangs out up there.
And your tongue.
And I said tongue, didn't I?
I
Yeah,
don't
my
know.
tongue's stretched out to 2 gauge.
Yeah.
With me, everybody always asks me, like, you've been in the business, why don't you have more facial piercings? And it's like, or more piercings. It's like, well, first thing, I'm working in the industry, so that doesn't mean I have a lot of opportunities unless I'm an apprentice. Oh, and I forgot my conch, too.
Oh, and your conch.
I don't have a lot of
I hate your
opportunities, or haven't had over the last 30 years, to get pierced by somebody else. There's other shops in town, a lot of them really good, a lot of them not so good, and it just comes down to availability and time. And I've always been one of those people that kind of likes more subtleness for myself than, hey. So that's part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll get around to it. That's the other thing. And I used to have more genital piercings and removed them for some lady, and yeah, that's another story for another time.
Another story for another day.
Okay, this one's an interesting one, and I'm not sure why this is coming up in search results or why people are searching it. Piercing silicone body parts.
Wow.
I don't know why. I don't know if people are looking for videos of people doing this, or if they're looking for hints on practicing doing this.
Well, when you look it up, and we looked it up the other day, it was like weird ASMR video. And so I don't know what's so satisfying about watching someone get pierced.
I don't know. It's like people that I think in this day and age, what we've learned a long time ago, thank you to Jerry Springer, is people will watch anything.
That's true.
Here's what I'll tell you, my personal take on it. I use it for mock-ups, for diagrams, for the website, mostly for photography more than anything else, for thumbnails, etc. Because a lot of times I'm terrible. First and foremost, I'm terrible at taking pictures of piercings I've done. I forget.
Yeah.
And I've gotten in the habit of forgetting. I don't know how else to put it. The other thing is that a lot of times there's this situation where the photos didn't turn out, or the person has like a bunch of really crappy piercings next to it. So I ended up not taking the photo for one reason or another, or really junky jewelry. So a lot of times when I'm doing a video or whatever, it's just easier just to have a clear on the silicone.
Yeah.
Now, with that all said, and we did some videos a couple weeks ago on changing jewelry. Actually, this week, didn't that come out? Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about the videos that came out this week.
No, we haven't even talked about the piercings that we've done.
Yeah, or any of that stuff. Yeah, the video I did, changing and storing jewelry, that came out on Thursday, new to piercing. 5 best best times to get pierced, that, when you should do that. And then Medusa versus Labray piercing battle. And then today, earlier, the name of the piercing, I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to pronounce, but we will go with Snotch. And I totally mispronounced it on the video if that's the case.
Yes.
But during that, we shot some footage of her changing jewelry on the silicone head we have. And I have pierced that thing. I've pierced the ears. I've pierced all of it. And it is not easy. It is a pain in the ass. It is nothing like piercing a real person.
My most recent needle strike was actually on that face. I don't know if it counts, but I got myself pretty good when I was doing that vertical labray on that silicone face. Yeah, no. And then I kind of wanted to bring up is the fact that even when I was apprenticing, you never really had me practice changing jewelry on it, but you never had me practice how to pierce things.
I think I may have had you like I remember pulling out one and going, here, practice your forceps techniques.
Yeah, and you told me you had me practice my angle when it came to
and just lining up that angle and getting used to it, because it's kind of, when you watch somebody else do it, you get some pointers, and I try to point out things while I'm doing it, but sometimes you can't really do that because you don't want to make the client nervous.
Yeah.
So kind of getting the nuance on a couple things I've done it, but otherwise, piercing them sucks.
Yeah, it's like,
and it's always off center and weird and angled weird, and a lot of times you have to pierce the whole thing to put the. It's a pain in the ass. I dread it. In fact, I've been constantly going, "Hey, do you want to mock up this today?"
Yeah, and I go,
no. So yeah, I saw the video you were talking about tongue splitting. Would you tell me more about it? Here's the biggest thing with tongue splitting is. It is very hard to find somebody that has any credentials or a good reputation. It's in many places in the world, it's considered practicing medicine without a license.
Yeah.
Or on the edge of that, or in that gray zone. So it is very underground. It's kind of if you look hard enough, you'll probably find somebody that's reputable, but sometimes it's hard to check out the references. The biggest thing I would tell, and what I generally tell people when they ask about it, I go, find somebody that has it. and then ask them who did it, and ask them immediately after that, what was that experience like? Because it is an undertaking.
Yeah.
You can't just, there's a lot of people, like back in the day, they would have all these DIY methods of, you get your tongue pierced, and then you take this thread and you tighten it up, or twine over, or no, it's fishing line actually.
Yeah.
And over time, it'll tear through. The problem with that is that the tongue always wants to grow back together. It does not want to be separated.
So you have to stretch it and make sure it
to do it properly, you have to cut it and you have to cauterize it or stitch. And you have to do it in a way that it's next to impossible for the body to return. Plus, during the healing process, you do have to stretch them apart. So it's very involved. It's going to definitely change your diet for a while. It can cause speech impediments that slightly go away over time. It's kind of like the tongue piercing. There's some people that there's still an element of that, regardless of how long they've had the piercing or how they've adapted to it. You're changing things.
Yeah. You're changing the way that your mouth moves for sure with that. And also another thing from what I've seen is you move it like every day, but you have to like make sure that it doesn't like fuse back together over time, because your mouth heals extremely fast, and so it kind of you have to make sure that they doesn't start to like fuse together, because I've seen people who have had their tongue split and then they didn't really move it around or exercise it, and
it grew back.
It started to grow back together a little bit more. So
yeah, it's just one of those things you have to find somebody that's special. Even with dermals and surface-to-surface piercings, you need to find somebody that specializes in that, because it's not a knowledge that every piercer has or the experience. And there's a lot of people out there doing this stuff that don't even have a clue what they're getting into. They're watching YouTube videos in the back before you come out and help you. James Byrne, damn, you got to be careful, I'm guessing is what you're trying to say, about how you move not to damage your piercings, but it can become second nature. Yes, it can be. Eventually you'll get to a point, even after you remove the piercings, you will find yourself still avoiding contact.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've trained yourself, especially stuff, it becomes a limb.
It does.
And after it's gone, it's like a ghost limb.
No, when I removed my cheek piercings, I was very hesitant about eating for a long time. Then I realized I can move my mouth as wide as I wanted to. And that made eating sandwiches a lot easier.
Yeah, that's a part about oral piercings people don't think about. Well, what did you get the other day?
Oh, I got a burrito from Chipotle. And I got it. I was so excited to eat it. I got a canned soda with it too. So I sit down in the break room and I'm so excited. I unwrap it and I'm like, oh.
For those who don't know, she has a fresh vertical labrae piercing
That I keep messing with.
Yes.
Don't call me out on it, guys. I don't.
Yes. Venti, I believe is how that's pronounced. 7455. Is it safe to punch a hole in your ear to start at bigger stretch sizes? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't do it because I think you should earn it. You learn more about your body. You know exactly how you heal and etc. The biggest problem or issues, and I did a video on this. If you go through it was one of the pros and cons. No, I think it was one of the piercing battles.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, where it's needles versus punch. The biggest difference is that, and it kind of falls under that whole practicing medicine without a license, because I was actually investigated and told that since I wasn't taking biopsies, that I was not practicing medicine without a license. It's named in the decision. When a dermal punch actually does, it's a cylinder, super sharp. You spin it or rotate it while it goes inward, and it cores out a section of tissue, basically cuts it free. That's a biopsy. Mm-hmm. That's what these are mainly used for. With a piercing needle, which has that lanced tip, it makes a crescent moon shaped, kind of a very weird shaped one, like almost like a C, incision. It just cuts through the tissue. It doesn't remove anything. So the biggest difference between the two is if you, like, let's say you decide that you want to do a punch at, like, I don't know how big they go, like a 1/2-inch punch. That holds there. It ain't ever growing shut unless you get plastic surgery or have it stitched shut, or plastic surgery where they have to cut out the piercing and then sew it back together. So it's a kind of a bigger commitment from the standpoint. If you had it pierced with a ring, which is a standard needle, and you get up to, at least you're not going over like 2 gauge, because that's kind of the sweet spot for most people, it will grow back. But those, no, they are not growing back. The only other risk with it is if you're doing it through cartilage is that you could possibly mess up the structure of your ear and have that cartilage collapse on you.
Yeah.
So there are some risks involved. But yeah, if you want to jumpstart your stretch, you can do that. But you can also pierce, up to 8 gauge or 6 gauge and slowly increase from there too.
Yeah, depends on what you're trying to pierce, because I imagine it'd be harder to pierce something at a 6 gauge that's like an eyebrow or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like something that's a little bit of tissue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're doing a lobe, yeah, cartilage piercings. The thing with punches is with cartilage piercings, usually that's the only way you're going to get to those thick gauges.
Mm-hmm. As if you pierce larger.
Yeah, because stretching them is not really it would take decades.
Yeah.
I think the only cartilage I've ever stretched was my helix, and it took me, I think I waited 2 years
to go from 18
to 16 gauge. Yeah. Big jump. Empty Fortress. I got both rooks pierced about 4 weeks ago. No problems at all, except one ball, because one of the balls fell off first. I love how they look. So pleased. Yeah, the only thing I would have told you is maybe we do one side, heal it out, and do the other side. Unless you're one of those people that sleeps like a vampire. You can sleep flat on their back, because that can be kind of a bit of a hassle. Those balls are like the curse of everybody's existence. I always tell people it's like there's no perfect piece of jewelry. This is what we have to work with. And I also tell them to pick a day of the week, and that is ball checking day. Anybody that's watching my videos know that I say that a lot, where you just need to have to check it once a week to make sure it's secure. The other big hint on that is a couple different things. First thing is if it's threaded jewelry, it should always be internally threaded, because usually it takes more turns for that to tighten and loosen. The other hint on that would be is once it heals, maybe switching out to threadless.
I love threadless jewelry
because they tend to stay in better.
Oh, they also have a lot more options for fronts, and you're never going to find a piece of jewelry that's going to fit perfectly snug and comfortable in that area. So it's fun to do like fun pieces where the like danglies on top or something.
Yeah. You can have it dangle down and look all fancy.
Like a chandelier.
Like a chandelier. And then Vintage said, thank you. I'll look into just getting pierced with a bigger gauge. I think the thing about it, part of the piercing experience to me is the learning journey of knowing what your body's capable of.
That's true.
And kind of the discovery of that. Fakura used to have a magazine called Body Play, and it was about piercing, but it was also about, suspensions and other things. And the idea that you could explore something that you have with you every day and learn new things about nature, yourself, your tolerance, etc., always interested me, and it's one of the things that drew me to piercing.
Yeah.
That you put a hole in it and you put this jewelry in it and then it grows. Because we're, as humans, we're not used to things growing. Like, it's an addition.
Yeah.
To what we already had.
Yeah. I don't know. What drew me to body piercing is, at this point, I don't even remember. I wanted to do it so badly, and that I harassed you.
Yeah.
Worst decision of my entire life.
That's almost going on a year now.
I know. And December 5th will be a year. Also,
yep. And she'll turn 19 the same day.
My 19th birthday.
God, you're so young. What year were you born?
2006.
God, Jesus.
Did you start that off with 19?
Yeah, I know. I'm stuck. I'm old.
No.
I'm a 20th century boy.
What is that supposed to mean?
I was born in the 20th century. You were born in the 21st century.
Oh, Lord.
Are you a digital boy, too? See if anybody gets that reference.
Lord.
Probably not.
Lord.
James Burns says, check him. Ball checking is every day. Yes, in some cases it is. Me, I only wear 2 pieces. I think that, my tongue and my PA. And
your eyebrow.
My eyebrow.
You
Eyebrow
keep
never
forgetting about
becomes loose, ever.
Really?
Yeah, I've learned to isolate. That thing's been in there for so long, I completely isolate it.
You also completely forget about it.
And forget about it. It's just part of me.
Oh.
Tongue, that'll loosen up occasionally, and usually when I'm eating a Reuben, for some reason.
The curse of the Reuben with DaVo
Yeah.
is very strong.
And then the PA, that rarely falls off, and usually when it does come unscrewed, it's like I'll notice it when I sit on the toilet.
Yeah, my PA it never falls off.
Yeah, because you don't have one. Well, we don't question anything.
I could have a PA. You don't care to learn about me.
You know what? I said I wish I could have my Dave at your studio. I wish I could pierce everybody too.
Yeah.
We're all, the nice thing about is the internet and everything else in this channel is I've gotten to interact with a lot of people from all, 6 of the 7 continents, etc. But at the same time, it's like that distance becomes a little bit more when you have somebody that is really passionate about keeping this piercing or doing or starting an apprenticeship or what have you, and they contact me, and there's not much I can do for them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of frustrating. But yeah, I've also had people that have traveled because of my Slipknot connection. Back in the day, I used to have people that would travel to Des Moines, and that was part of their journey to the homeland, and they would get pierced by me. So I've pierced people from all over the world. But yeah, my biggest thing is I hope you find somebody that has a passion for piercing. That's the biggest key.
Yeah, no. And then I was also I was wondering this year when the travel for Slipknot was going to come around, if we were going to get anyone coming in for their voyage for Slipknot, and I think we only had one person.
Nah, somebody came in and got tattooed. You're talking about Knotfest?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think somebody came and got, 2 or 3 people came in and got tattooed, and then, yeah, I don't know. It's funny because those people at first, they act like they don't know who I am.
Really?
Yeah, I've gotten that quite a few times because they're embarrassed somehow. I don't know. I've learned to just be as gracious as I can be with people because I never know.
Never know what's going on.
Yep. Vente, if you add a nose chain to your paired nostril studs, should you lengthen the studs to accommodate, or will it just fit fine with the same size? Sorry for all the questions. That's fine. It keeps things moving.
It does. We appreciate your questions. Thank you.
What is your answer to this?
My answer to this is I think you just keep them the same length. Because they should not be pulling on them. But they shouldn't be super duper loose either. But they shouldn't be pulling up so much that you need to have a super long stud.
It's a very thin piece of ring that they use for these.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I would say is what I'll do is I'll put my index finger inside their nose. I put my finger in a lot of people's noses. I put my finger in other people's noses more than I put it in my own, I have to say, ever since I started stocking threadless jewelry. Anyway, and push out a little bit. There should be a little bit of play there, and you shouldn't have to lengthen. And then it's a play it by ear kind of situation. If it is uncomfortable, you probably need a slightly longer one.
Yeah.
The hardest thing of those is matching the length.
That's true. And because we don't sit there and play.
I don't.
Jewelry maker.
I don't want to. I looked into getting where you customize them, and I did not. The linkages are so tiny. I'm I have enough frustration in my life. I don't need one more. Even putting them on can be kind of a pain. A hint on that is if you're doing it at home, use a toothpick.
Yeah. We use our needle receiving tubes, our taper pins.
Guide pins.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of put the You can do one of two things. You can either stick it into the post and then slide the ring over it, or you can pick the hook or hook the ring and then put it on that way. It makes it a lot easier.
It does.
Because otherwise you're sitting there trying to put this little tiny thing on top of this little tiny thing, and it turns and twists on you, and it's a pain in the butt.
Because you also have to sit there and make sure it lays flat.
Yep.
So it's not all tangled up around a person's nose, because that's never coming.
And then some of those chains, if they twist while you're doing it, they don't lay right. They are not fun sometimes.
No.
There's a lot going on there.
Too much going on.
So we're going to move on to topic number 5.
Oh, wow.
Right piercing anatomy for an eyebrow.
The area that the eyebrow is going to get pierced, it shouldn't be super duper tight. But the brow bone shouldn't be extremely prominent. You know what I'm trying to say?
Not the bone, the muscle.
The muscle.
Or, yeah, that helps you do this.
Shouldn't be like overly prominent, I guess.
The tissue should be loose because you got to kind of loosen up the tissue to actually do the piercing. If it's too tight on some people, it will reject.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody. I've done it on people that, I went, you're not the best candidate. Here's what could happen. And they went, I don't care. Let's do it anyway. And had them heal it out with no issue whatsoever. And then other people, no.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you should be able to pinch, and it's really kind of, you'll feel that tissue underneath there. It's like fatty tissue.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like me, you can almost, like when you grab it on the bottom, you can almost, it feels like you can almost put your finger underneath it between your skull and that tissue.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the best candidates.
Hmm.
And then as far as the width, it should be from the top to the bottom of the eyebrow, the actual just below it. And I like to do it at the corner of the eye. The only thing I don't really advise is getting into this area usually leads to rejection because it's usually tighter and there's more movement.
Yeah.
There's also some nerve endings in that area that if you got an infection could cause some serious problems.
Yes.
So if you get pierced there, be very, very cautious. And if there's any signs of problems, go see somebody about it. I already talked about that one, I believe. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. James Brunner said, thanks, DaVo. You and your sister rock. She's not my sister, but, she's like an annoying little sister, maybe.
Whatever. Whatever.
No, I had 2 older sisters. My life was hell.
I had 3 brothers. 2 older, 1 younger.
Yeah. Anyway, and then we can move on to the next one. And this one I'm going to give totally to you because it's septum healing process.
Okay.
Because you have one, so that's the best way to talk about it. Which I'm surprised. Why haven't you talked about it on your piercing journeys yet? You want to do all these oral piercings.
Because it's not special.
It is special. That, and I'm going to say it right now. This whole thing going around on the internet that says that you're piercing, that if you have it, it means that you're a trauma princess. That's a bunch. That trauma is your whole personality. That is not the case. Anyway, because it's not your whole personality at all.
My septum's my personality.
No, I mean, I don't think I've ever heard. Well, you've had some things happen in your life just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's not your personality.
No. Yeah, no, I don't.
Anyway, so what was the healing process like?
The healing process, it was relatively easy. When it did shift and move, though, because of how thin that tissue is there, it hurt so bad. It felt like, when you get so sick that your nose is raw, that's how it felt all the time when it was healing.
For you?
For me.
Now, we should also explain, what were you told to clean that with?
With Bactine.
That might have been the reason why it was like that.
Yeah, probably. Well, I didn't use it. That healing, I learned my lesson with my cheek piercings. Okay,
yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just gonna raw dog my piercings, nothing, and probably wasn't the best idea. But I did, however, try and get them wet in the shower, get all that crustiness off. I did do some saline soaks homemade saline soaks.
Yeah, which they usually, that's what we used to tell people to do before we had the canned stuff.
Yeah, homemade
We had
saline
no choice
soaks
in the matter. It was all that was available to us.
at home. But yeah, it felt like it was raw all the time because
I'm
of that
guessing the
shifting.
crusties were part of that. But yeah, I could see that. Especially if you had too much salt.
Yeah.
If your mixture, that's one of the disadvantages of mixing at home, is it's hard to get it perfect. And usually it's a little bit on the salty side.
Yeah. And I also got it pierced during the winter, so that probably didn't help my case.
Those lovely dry Iowa winters.
I actually got it pierced a little over a year ago because I remember. Do you remember I was telling you, I was like, oh, like I was thinking about coming in here and getting my septum pierced, and you were like, you
Bring your mom.
Bring your mom. And then my mom, she was like, oh, no, that's a piercing. I don't want you getting, you're going to get made fun of at family gatherings. And I was like, I'm going to go do it anyways. So I got it pierced where I got every other piercing that I ever had. Yeah. But no, after that, it was all right. The jewelry that was in it was kind of cheap. I never changed it out, though, because I could not get those balls off.
Because they were externally threaded and you torqued them on with a tool to make sure they didn't fall off.
Yeah.
That's a common thing. Also, I've noticed with certain shops, they'll do that so that you have to come back to them and pay to have it changed. I don't do that. I think that's unethical. Vente said, how many piercings could you get in one sitting, assuming they would all heal safely? Here's the deal. Each individual piercing takes a level of assets, I guess would be a good way to put it.
Like energy.
Energy for your body to heal. Also, it affects your immune system. So if you get a whole bunch done at once, it will prolong the healing period of all of them and increase your likelihood of infection. So usually what I do suggest is 3 to 4 is kind of that sweet spot for most healthy individuals to actually heal it out and not have problems.
Yeah.
You start getting over that, having that many, like having 5 healing piercings at one time, you're going to start seeing problems. The other thing about it is that if you go, okay, I'm going to get 4 done today, and then I'm going to come back in a week and get 4 more done, or even 1 more, is your body will automatically shift everything it's doing with those healing piercings over to that new wound.
Yeah.
Because that's where the emergency is. So it'll prolong the healing of all of them. So usually best 3 to 4. And the other thing with getting multiple piercings done at once is your nervous system tends to register pain a little bit more intensely with each additional piercing.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that effect, but it is something you consider. So like I could sit there and I could do 15 piercings on you if you could tolerate it. But and then there's other people, like I said, with anything that has to do with the human body, there's just certain people that can tolerate it more. However, I will say this. If you ever seen one of those Guinness books of world records, 18 million piercings on their face crap, and you look closely at those piercings and all of them look scabby and gross and maybe infected, that's one of the main reasons why, is the body is just over capacity. It cannot keep up with what it needs to do to heal those piercings.
Yeah.
And they will never heal completely. And then Vente said the trauma thing sounds mean. Yeah, it's Mean Girl thing, because it wasn't even addressed towards it was something that was going around on TikTok for a minute. And like a jealousy thing, like in
almost that, like, how dare you? I don't know. How dare you look cool first and foremost?
And that's what I was thinking about for next week's topic. We should do what piercings say about you.
Yeah. But it's like, how dare you look cool and how dare you heal from things that genuinely affect you in your life? Like, how dare you? You should be shamed for that, because you're just supposed to deal with it like a normal person.
Yeah.
When a lot of people, it helps them to deal with those things by talking to those closest around them, and to shame them for feeling like they can trust you to talk about that is kind of messed up.
Usually when people start sharing things like that with me, I feel empowered from the standpoint of that person trusts me enough.
Yeah, and to just hear that, I think it's a lot of this thing that is going on nowadays where it's like you need to keep what you're going through to yourself because I don't want to hear it, and it's a lack
That
of
is a
community.
very like old school boomer.
Yeah.
One of the things they complained about all those people about, and especially the quiet generation, my parents' generation, which was the ones born in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Or the 20s and 30s, I think. Yeah, that sounds right. I'll just go with it.
Yeah. But it's like this idea of the lack of a village and a lack of community around you. And it's like, you need to figure it out on yourself. I'm not going to throw you at a lifeboat for you to get on it because I earned that lifeboat. I didn't get that, so why should you? And it's like, you should be willing to help the people around you. And especially if it's someone that you feel like you care about, you shouldn't just be like, well, you should deal with that on your own. Or
now there's the other end of that spectrum where trauma dumping is used to manipulate other people.
That's true.
And that's an entirely different thing. It's love bombing's the same way.
Yeah.
I don't know when this turned into this, but
I don't either.
So this is why I have issues some days and don't give videos out till like 7 o'clock at night, because the two of us will start talking, especially music, and the next thing I know, I'm like, damn, I just blew an hour, and she keeps interrupting me every time I turn back to the computer.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Anyway. But, and you know what's funny is the last thing that's on the list here for trending topics is piercing and punching differences. And we've already covered that. Isn't that awesome?
It is awesome. Whoever commented that is ahead of the game.
Yeah, you're in tune with the universe that is YouTube.
You're like, what's it?
Wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know what that.
James Burns trying not to try to correct you, but as a nurse, I consider most female co-workers my sisters. Okay, I get it. Love you, love you, DaVo. Thanks for your services. Thank you for watching and for being a part of the community that is this. Yeah, it's interesting to me because there was a time where I was going through burnout and I wasn't answering comments as often. And I went back through some of those from like 2-3 years ago, and there's multiple comments from other people, other viewers answering people's questions. And that's just awesome. That's one of the things I've always loved about the body art industry or community or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. It's very nice to have that kind of I don't know. I think the body piercing, and as the more I've gotten onto YouTube and the internet and stuff, it's so wonderful seeing how positive people are.
I know when I first said let's start a channel, everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna get all these negative comments," and it's like I rarely get one.
Yeah, no, everyone here is so positive and kind. And
yeah, I get one every once in a while. I'll get like you look like this famous celebrity that looks anything like me, but it's like a portly feller. And it's like, oh, well, thanks. I'm not nearly as funny as that person or as talented as that person in that way, but yeah, sure, I'll take it.
You'll take the compliment.
Yeah, I don't care. You give it, I'm taking. Vente, God forbid someone expresses themselves in a healthy and fashionable way. Piercings are so cool. Couldn't agree more.
I know. God forbid.
I mean, it's not some secret sign like. And it's weird like that because I've experienced or heard the same things about certain piercings and being more sexually active or easy, if you want to put it that way. I've heard that about people being, like in the UK, I guess a big thing was if you had your eyebrow done, that meant you were some type of hood rat kind of.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I can't remember the term for it. It's a youth movement that was going on over there at the time.
Swing youth?
No. It's not. We're 1940s.
I don't know.
Boy, yeah. Back in my day, talking about the people doing ragtime dances, the regsters.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, they got together and did dance fights.
Oh, dance battles.
Yeah.
I wish we did dance battles now.
No, thank you.
I think that's like what mosh pits are, dance battles.
They're just chummy kind of pushing shoves. Now, as far as like the week, we had a pretty good week. It's kind of slow at the beginning, then slow at the end, but in the middle, it was really busy.
It was really busy. It was a wonderful week, honestly.
Lots of nostrils, which
Lots
is always
of
fun
them.
because a lot of times it's a person's second or third piercing, and they're just kind of beginning to come out of their into bloom as a pierced individual or modified individual. So we got to do that a few times, yeah, the thing I'm noticing a trend of, though, is minors that are coming in with their parents to get their nostril pierced. And one of the reasons they're getting their nostril pierced is because mom wouldn't let them get it, or mom or dad would not let them get a septum piercing done.
Which I think is so weird because septums
Are easier to hide.
If I had a horseshoe and I could show the audience, but
Yeah, you just flip them up.
you just flip it up.
Yep.
But I feel like I look so weird without my septum.
Yeah.
It's grown on me to the point where if I ever take it out to change it, or if I ever have a horseshoe and I flip it up, it looks so peculiar to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's my sparkle?
Yeah. You look completely different without your glasses on. And the only time I ever see that is when I'm piercing you.
Yeah, I feel like I look completely different with my glasses on. I feel like I look like a nerd, and that's because I didn't wear glasses until I was like 14.
So me, they've been stuck to my head since I was 2.
Yeah. Imagine a 2-year-old with glasses. You had to have those like straps,
Yeah, I did.
the baby straps.
Yep. I have tons of scars in my hidden by my bushy eyebrows. They're probably mostly faded now from fights and falling and et cetera, and glasses cutting into my eyebrow. I don't know how many times I went to get stitches done. 5 or 6 times between probably like 4 and 12.
Dang.
Yeah, the last time I got anything done up there, it was some guy took a belt at a bar, and luckily he hit this side instead of this side, or he would have ripped that piercing out.
Oh.
Pulled out a belt and swung it around and nailed me in the head with it, and I had to went to the hospital, and they're like, oh, here's some, and I was like, don't even bother with the navigate. Yeah, how many stitches you putting in? They're like, we're just going to do 4 staples. I'm like, don't even bother with a lidocaine.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to hurt that much.
Yeah.
Eyebrow piercings do not hurt that much for a reason. There's just not a lot of packed in nerves. They can hurt with certain people, but usually not too bad.
Yeah. It's usually the clamps that hurt the worst.
Yep. So I think we've done a nice round robin of the week.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything really spectacularly. I guess I did a good variety. I didn't do as much this week because I let you do stuff.
Was it this week or last week that we got the VCHs in?
Well, I did one yesterday, or did one like a couple hours ago.
Yeah. Or I don't remember, I think it was last week that we did. Oh, it was supposed to be 2, and then it was 1. Never mind.
Yeah.
I lie. I get confused.
It's always weird when people set up appointments. Vente asked, how many times have you guys pierced industrial piercings? I've done hers twice.
I've done a total of 2 or 3. I can't remember.
I've probably done close to, I don't know. I never kept track of like how many of them I've been doing.
You've done at least
like
3.
Somebody made a comment on one of the sites and they were trying to play expert. And then I went back and did some research on them to find out exactly who it was I was talking to. And not to discredit them or anything else, but they had listed like how many piercings they'd done in each piercing. And it's just like, really? You had the time? Because I never had the time.
Yeah, no.
To sit down and go, oh, that's, put that hash mark next to it, like a big chalkboard. You have like one of those things like, the bonus boards that they have at like sales centers.
Yeah.
I guess you've never done telemarketing, so you wouldn't know what I'm talking about.
No.
Anyway, I've probably done thousands and thousands of them over the years. Now, how many of those healed out? They're always a tricky piercing to heal. They're probably between the snug and the industrial and the anti-helix. I think probably in an orbital, especially UFO. I don't know. Snugs are slightly, I think, worse, but industrials are very difficult. And there's a number of reasons for that most people don't think about. And I've done a terrible job of explaining, or otherwise I would explain this on these videos. It's one of those things I'll think about later. We are actually piercing contrary to the proper angle when we do them, because we're supposed to do them so that they're perpendicular, almost at a 90 degree, if not perfect. And with most industrials, they have to be done at like a weird angle. So you're already creating a situation that may cause problems.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're tying it up into 2 piercings.
Yeah.
On something that's flexible.
Mm-hmm.
So they can be a little traumatic.
Yeah.
So yeah, talk a little bit about tattoos. We are working on this.
We are.
We're gonna get one of the artists in. We're gonna do a streams on Fridays, I think. And we're just gonna have one artist in a week. I have worked with tattoo artists for my entire career. I was getting tattooed long before. See, I started when I was 25. Yeah, I was 25 when I started, and I started getting tattooed when I was 18. And even when back then, when I was 18, when we would go to other cities, like when I was traveling to go see punk shows, because they were not happening here, we would go and hang out in tattoo shops. So, not get tattooed, just hang out there, because that was what you did before you went to the show, after you bought the records or whatever you were doing that weekend. What would you like to know about tattoos? Because that's a pretty broad subject. If you haven't checked out our Q&A in the kitchen videos, the podcast, we went through a lot of subjects. I mean, a lot of them. I think there's 5 seasons or something like that.
I just remember their most recent one where Jimmy got really excited to talk about how to tattoo a penis. I think about that video a lot.
What about?
You have to put a pencil or a bottle.
Yeah,
and you could
it's
see him,
very
buzzing
spongy, stretchy skin. It's not easy to get it because you have to have that taut. It has to be. What am I thinking?
Taut.
Yes. Or otherwise you get a bouncing effect, or it's kind of like when you do a piercing and it's not supported in the tissue rolls. Tattooing, it's kind of the same thing. That's why when they tattoo you, they pull down and then tattoo you, is because they want that, skin tight so that they're exactly precisely putting things where they need to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with that particular area, you have to pretty much stretch that out as much as you can.
I loved how he was like buzzing with excitement. He wanted to talk about it so bad.
Yeah, not on my list of things to do. Before my life is over.
Yeah.
It's not on my bucket list. Never had that interest. It's already pierced. Why do I need to do more? I've already customized it.
It's decorated enough.
James Burns said, "Sweet Jesus, I've been in a couple of bar fights and kicked ass. If I'm not, or bragging if I can do. I was a bit of a fighter when I was younger. It was part of the people I was around. It was part of the environment I grew up in, and my lack of self-control of my anger. I've gotten much better about that. Things don't bother me as much." Hey Scott, how you doing? Meet the other Scott.
Oh my goodness,
When she started, it's Piercing by Vegas, which I know Scott from he has this channel here, Piercing by Scott?
Piercing with Scott?
With Scott. I always mix that up. Great channel. If you haven't checked out his videos, you definitely need to. They were doing streams for a while, and then something happened. I'm guessing life.
Life does happen.
Like mine did. Where it's not as easy to do that stuff like you used to. Or the job just becomes, like the channel is like a second thing on top of everything. I have a lot of things.
A lot of
things in the air, juggling, etc. You're welcome, Scott. Great to see you. And one of these days we will do this, like we're going to do Zoom calls and be on a podcast together.
Yeah.
To discuss stuff. We'll get around to it.
Yeah. Then I'll get to get out of here.
Yes, life does happen, Scott. I don't know. I hit some burnout, and then I had some of the guys in the shop had some life changes that I won't go into because it's their personal business. And my apprentice quit on me, and that put my workload a little different, and a few other things. I'm down too. Vente said, "I've heard someone say that vertical labret piercings can't last over a decade. Is that true? Oddly Pacific, I know. I've had clients that have had it longer than that.
Yeah.
They do. Well, I know that Jess is longer, and so is Jimmy. Both Jess, who's our counter person, who is married to Jimmy, are one of the tattoo artists here. They've had theirs forever.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, how long have they had theirs? I wonder.
They do sometimes migrate.
They do. I know. Jimmy's did because he can.
Partly because Jimmy plays with it constantly. Dun dun dun. Yeah, they can, but I've never heard of one completely rejecting. I'm guessing if it was done incorrectly and not taken care of properly, it's possible.
Yeah.
But not like now things that do, I would say, have kind of a lifespan, kind of an expiration date would be things like dermal, surface, etc. And that's more, it's not because they're not capable of doing it. It's more to do with daily life and us being humans and occasionally making mistakes.
That's true.
They get snagged and then the body says, Yahoo, I can get rid of this, and starts pushing it out. Okay. Linzerfart, I think is what that is. Linenfurt. I'm going with that. Do old piercing shops make you pay for downsizing? I plan on getting my tongue pierced, and could I just downsize at home? Here's the deal. We will usually here personally, I charge you a discounted rate for the jewelry that we put back with the new jewelry. So, like for example, for a tongue piercing, I'm going, the price that I normally sell my jewelry at is going to be, like for just a standard titanium barbell, you're looking at $25, $30. But when you come in for downsizing, I'm going to charge you $10 to $15.
Yeah.
Because I want you to do it because it's going to make your life easier and it's going to make the piercing last longer and be more healthy and not damage your teeth.
That's true.
Or cause slitting or migrating out of position, etc. The other thing with tongue piercing, I'll say this again and again and again, you should downsize that piercing within 7 to 10 days after the piercing is done. Mm-hmm. Leaving it in there is just making your life miserable and increasing the likelihood of problems. Now, doing it at home, the biggest problem with that is you probably don't have the tools to do it. We just did a video on changing jewelry that came out on Thursday, and maybe you'll watch that and kind of get an idea. If you don't have the guide pin to get it in or to push out the jewelry and then put the new jewelry in, that piercing is going to be empty. It is a fresh piercing, and tongue piercings close pretty rapidly. You may have serious problems getting that jewelry back in. The other thing is we need to size that jewelry to your tongue, and that varies from person to person. There's no perfect size for everybody.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers that question. James Burns, I ran through the forest with a submachine gun and did a 180 and became a nurse. Hey, that's the way life is.
Yeah.
If you would have asked 16-year-old me what I was going to be when I grew up, I would have told you I was going to be a computer engineer. I was going to design computer programs, all this other stuff. And yeah, by the time I was 20, that was not the case.
Yeah. I wanted to be a lawyer for a long time.
That's why you argue all the time.
Oh my God. No, it's because of that. I don't know. Just because I was told by my family members, you'd make a great lawyer, which is a weird way to call a little girl bitchy, but.
Well, you're argumentative. No.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we don't really debate subjects. I think we agree on too much.
We do agree on too much.
Yeah, that'd be that would be an interesting podcast. Just us, the two of us sitting here agreeing over it. It's kind of what we do, but I mean, we answer other questions and so forth, and hopefully give you some some good information. Yeah. That's the goal here, more than anything else. Because the more educated you are, the more you're going to enjoy your piercings and your tattoos and life in general.
Yeah, we want you to enjoy the things that you have that you spend good money on.
Read a book, learn something. So you're done. You just finished up your book, didn't you?
I did. It was so sad. I'm gonna tell the viewers. I read the new Hunger Games book where it takes place from Haymitch's point of view, and it messed me up. I'm not gonna lie to you. The ending messed me up.
She was sad. I couldn't figure out why. I
was really sad because I love the Hunger Games.
Because I really thought it was that pullout you have at the end where you kind of go into this kind of dark hole where you've been in this universe that is in the book, and then suddenly it's over, so you don't get to be in that universe anymore.
No, I
no,
love
it
the
wasn't. It was
universe.
just a depressing ending, I guess.
It was.
Don't be a spoiler.
I just get really obsessed with book series, and I'm obsessed with the Hunger Games, and it was that way the first book at the end of the first part of the saga, and then the one that came out in 2020 for the President Snow, that was a weird ending. I have some theories about that one.
Well, yeah, that's in a different podcast. See, that's the thing about it, and I said this to her, is like at her age, when I was at her age, I wasn't reading fantasy novels. I was reading, stuff I probably shouldn't have. I was reading like Howard Zinn, People's History of the United States, and Henry Miller and Chuck Bukowski and all this really dark Faulkner, dark stuff. And she's reading, fantasy novels about the end of time.
But no, it made me tear up. It made me sad. I love the Hunger Games.
Yes, I enjoyed it too. Our time together tonight. So yeah. But I think it has to come to an end.
Oh, is
like
this person cutting us off?
No, I'm not cutting you off. I'm just we said we were going to do an hour, and we're over an hour.
That's true.
And if we don't do that, we'll have nothing to say next week.
That's true.
And then what will we do?
Also, my ride is waiting.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, our ride is waiting.
Our ride, yeah. It was raining today, and I couldn't ride my bike. It sucked. Yeah. But I got to wear my creepers that I forgot I owned until I found them in the bottom.
I love them. They're like a plum color. They're so pretty.
Brothel creepers. That I had. I forgot I had them because they were buried under a bunch of crap in the bottom of my closet, where I keep everything.
You don't keep shoes there though, and so that's
what's weird about it. Who knows? I was probably in a hurry and threw them in there.
Probably.
Anyway,
box?
If you guys, because this is going to go up anyway, and if you have any additional questions or you'd like expansion on any of things we talked about, please leave a comment. I generally answer them if I have time.
Yeah, or if they're like interesting enough, we might add them to the next podcast.
And if there's a subject you'd like to have us talk about in the future, and maybe you can't make it at that time, please leave a comment. And just put on there, like, please answer in the next stream. Yeah. I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of our topics and information come from viewer comments.
They do.
Guys, that's you guys' way of participating.
Yes.
And you should get a trophy for it.
Bum, bum, bum.
But we're going to be doing this every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You're welcome to tune in at that time. When we start doing the tattooing version, I think it's going to be a week from Friday. So the first Friday in December?
My birthday.
No, it'd be the 4th because it's the day before your birthday.
No, my birthday's on a Friday.
It is on a Friday? I thought it was on a Saturday.
It's December 5th.
Okay, I'll look that up later, but our goal is to shoot for the same time slot, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it'll be either Brent or Jimmy with me. And
you should have Brent. I love Brent. He's awesome.
Yes, he is a great guy.
And
we work with some wonderful people.
Yes. I love all the people here. They're awesome. I especially love Willow. If you haven't checked out Jess's Instagram, Willow's so adorable.
Yeah, the Skin Kitchen Instagram. There's some funny stuff on there. And the TikToks.
Oh, yeah.
She does that. And, it takes a little bit of the pressure off me to do everything. Because otherwise it wouldn't get done. But other than that, here's hoping all your piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I'd love to see if your piercing needs in the future. Have a good night, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in that next video.